Hey guys, what is up? It is the Fast Break Report here bringing you guys another vlog, and what an interesting night we had last night if you are a Pacers fan. I'm not gonna lie, this was a great game. Easily got game of the week, I feel, on NBA TV. This was one for the ages. The Indiana Pacers played the Minnesota Timberwolves last night, and they were an injury-plagued team. And I say injury because I feel like they purposely sat like Pascal Siakam and a bunch of other guys, because if you look at the playoff picture right now, the 6th seed seems like it's probably the place to be. I know there's people who are going to disagree with that, which I'll explain more as the video goes on later on. But I want to talk about the game itself first. This was a game in which we had no starters playing, and it started off. It started off all right. You know, like we were actually beating them going into halftime. I was actually shocked that we were winning, mostly because when you sit all 5 of your starters, it's very unlikely, or not all 5, but 4 out of the 5 players in your starting 5. It's very unlikely you're going to win that game. Especially against Minnesota, where they had pretty much everybody available. Rudy Gobert played, Anthony Edwards played, Mike Conley played, Naz Reid played. Like, they had a full healthy roster, right? And going into halftime, we were up by quite a bit. I think we were up by 11 points or something like that, or 10 points. Like, we had a pretty good lead going into halftime. Then the third quarter rolled around, and Andrew Nembhard got into it with Rudy Gobert. What happened was Mike Conley flopped. It was a very obvious flop. Andrew Nembhard, I guess, hit Mike Conley in the chest, but Mike Conley did one of these where he fell backwards and flailed backwards, and pretended he got hit in the face. Rudy Gobert saw it and then lowered his shoulder right into Andrew Nembhard's head, or his face, when Andrew Nembhard was attacking the basket. Andrew Nembhard had already gotten a technical foul earlier in the game, but Andrew Nembhard got pissed at this, obviously, as most people would, lost his temper and threw the ball at Rudy Gobert. And that resulted in a bit of a scuffle, not really a fight, but benches kind of clearing. Tensions were high. And as a result, Andrew Nembhard and Rudy Gobert were assessed, I believe, flagrant. Rudy Gobert was assessed a flagrant 2 foul, which means automatic rejection. If you get a flagrant 2, you're automatically done. But because Andrew Nembhard had already had a technical foul earlier in the game, this was now his 2nd technical foul, and he was ejected from the game as a result. So, I mean, all in all, I think the calls were very fair. Even the one on Andrew Nembhard, you can't throw the ball at a guy. I get it. He lowered his shoulder into you. Was very obviously not a basketball play. Rudy Gobert was intentionally trying to hurt Andrew Nembhard. Whenever you lower your shoulder into a guy's face to try and play defense, all right, you're not playing defense at that point. At that point, you think you're a fucking rugby player or a football player. I don't care who you are. I don't care what team you're on. Lowering your shoulder into a player as they're driving to the basket and trying to, knock them off balance by essentially doing anything just short of tackling a player, it is not a basketball play. I don't care what fan you're a team of, the Timberwolves or the Pacers. This was simply not a basketball play. So that happened. And even before this happened, right, Ben Mathurin had 22 points, but Ben Mathurin fouled out. Ben Mathurin fouled out. So, everything in this game was yeah, Pacers are losing. Then once Andrew Nembhard went out, our lead that was an 11, 12-point lead, only, within a matter of minutes, was only a 3-point lead. And sure enough, TJ McConnell had some heroics in the end of the game. TJ McConnell hit the game-tying basket with 3 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Nobody was open. They inbounded the ball. TJ McConnell got it, saw nobody was open, decided to take it into his matters into his own hands. Made the game-tying basket to send the game to overtime. Now, in this time, Obi Toppin decided it was time to go fucking bonkers, okay? Obi Toppin last night had 34 points, 10 rebounds, 2 assists, shot 12 of 19 from the field, 3 of 4 from the free throw line, out of 10 three-pointers, this man made 7 of them, and had 1 steal and 1 block with only 2 turnovers. That was one hell of a game from Obi Toppin. Easily, I think, the best game of his career. TJ McConnell had 11 points and 13 assists and 4 rebounds. Tony Bradley provided some valuable minutes, had 12 points, 9 rebounds, shot 6 of 8 from the field, had 1 steal and 2 blocks. A really, really good game from him. Quentin Jackson had 13 points. Jarris Walker was actually a starter in this game. He had 13 points, 5 rebounds, and 1 assist. Not the greatest efficiency from the field, but he had 2 steals. He did have 5 turnovers and 5 personal fouls, which is not great, but it is what it is. Thomas Bryant had a 10 and 7. And Andrew Nembhard had 12 points before he got ejected. Now, going into overtime, this game was kind of a nail-biter up until the end. And I'm sure, as all of you have seen, Obi Toppin ended up hitting the game-winning three-point shot in the corner off a TJ McConnell assist after he had basically drove baseline. Obi Toppin was cutting down towards the corner. TJ McConnell hit him, and Obi Toppin, while fading out of bounds, hit the three-pointer with, I think, 3 seconds left to win the game. So, real nail-biter last night, to say the least. I was very shocked that we won, considering I thought the team was tanking. And I still think they are, if I'm being honest with you. I have a feeling against the Dallas Mavericks, they're going to sit the starters again. That's just my opinion. I feel like the Pacers really want that 6th seed spot. And the reason I say that is because there is 15 games left in the season. The Detroit Pistons are on a hot streak. They played the Pelicans last night, and it just seemed very odd that if you really want to move up in your seeding, that you would sit all your starters on a night where it's very obvious the Pistons were going to beat the Pelicans. And they're the team that you're essentially competing with over the 5th seed. So that's why I didn't understand why they were sitting all the starters, because I'm like, Pascal Siakam has played every game this season. So the idea that they were sitting Pascal Siakam for personal reasons, I was like, okay, I see what's going on here. Like, they want that 6th seed. And it makes a lot of sense. It makes sense. I'm going to tell you why, okay? It makes sense because right now, the Knicks they got 2 guys playing 40 minutes a game. Okay, Karl Anthony Towns, historically, has not been a good playoff performer. And Jalen Brunson's injured. Okay, Jalen Brunson is out until the end of March with an ankle sprain. Jalen Brunson's supposed to come back right before the playoffs start. And I don't care who you are, if you have an ankle injury or a sprained ankle and you take a month off from basketball and you can't practice every day and you can't be in the gym every day, it's going to take some time to get that ankle back to strength and everything. That's kind of the place to be. Because not only that, but the Knicks really tend to crumble when they play against teams that are good. Like, that's one thing I've noticed about the Knicks this year. If they play a team with any depth or a team that's mildly competent, okay, They lose games. They lose games against good teams. They play well against bad teams and then play like shit against good teams. And I think the front office realizes that. The front office is looking at this going, we could get an injury-riddled Knicks team again. You know, you got Mikal Bridges complaining to the press about the minutes he's playing. There was a closed-door meeting with Tom Thibodeau, and it's pretty funny. What got out into the media was that the relationship between Tom Thibodeau and Mikal Bridges was fine, right? And then that very next game, after they actually had a closed-door conversation, he played Mikal Bridges 41 minutes. So, I don't know. I don't know what's going on there in New York, but it does not look good, to say the least. So that's what I think is happening here. I understand it's a little early in the season to be tanking, and I don't necessarily think that the Pacers are tanking for the seed yet. I don't think they're tanking for the 6th seed, but I think they saw this as an opportunity for them to be like, we could make the margin just a little closer, right? Like, we could make the fight between 4, 5, and 6 just a little bit more in our favor if we just rest all our starters. They play Dallas tomorrow night. They play the Dallas Mavericks tomorrow night, who are completely injury riddled, by the way. Kyrie Irving's done for the season. Anthony Davis is out indefinitely. Derek Lively is out indefinitely. Daniel Gafford is out indefinitely. Dante Exum is out. Olivier Maxime Prosper is out. Like, all their good players are out. Except for, like, Klay Thompson, even Jaden Hardy is day-to-day. So, like, their best players right now, against the Dallas Mavericks, their best players are Klay Thompson and PJ Washington. So, I really wouldn't be surprised if the Pacers try to rest their starters again tomorrow night against Dallas in an effort to maybe make it so maybe we lose against Dallas. I doubt that's going to happen. Even with sitting the starters, I highly doubt we're going to lose to Dallas. Especially with the amount of injuries they got going on. But it's just the idea. The Pacers are trying to... It looks like they're trying to make the race between 4, 5, and 6 just a little bit closer. So, like, when it gets down to the end, they could maybe accidentally lose a game and end up as the 6th seed. That way, in the first round, they get the Knicks, and it's pretty much like the best chance they have to get to the second round. Don't get me wrong. You could play the Bucks, okay? But the thing is, or Detroit, but the fact of the matter is, would you rather play a healthy Bucks roster, right, in the playoffs, and a healthy Detroit Pistons roster, or would you rather play a banged-up Knicks roster that has no bench? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's my ideology here. And LeBron has done this for years. It's not like this is unheard of. Like, there was a guy who got mad at me in the Discord for even saying this, but I'm like, they're not going for the 4th seed. No, they're not. I don't think they are. Maybe the players are, but the front office isn't. The front office doesn't want the 4th seed. Like, okay, so you get to play Milwaukee or you get to play Detroit. Personally, I would love to play Detroit just because of the amount of shit talk I get to do if we sweep these motherfuckers. But it's just the idea, if you're the front office, it makes a lot of sense for you to end up in that 6th seed spot to play against the Knicks. And then in the second round, who would you end up playing against? The Boston Celtics, right? And... yeah, I get it. Boston is Boston at the end of the day. But the fact of the matter is, if you end up as the 6th seed in the Eastern Conference right now, and you have to play the Knicks, okay, odds are you're going to end up in the second round. Like, and that's why I think they're doing what they're doing, because the Knicks are in fucking shambles, okay? They have no bench. Their bench players are arguably G League players. Okay, Jalen Brunson is injured and out till the end of March at the very least. Okay, that's the thing we need to keep in mind here. At the very least, okay, Jalen Brunson is out until the end of March. He could be out towards the start of April. And if that's the case, right? If that's the case, that means that if you play the Knicks without Jalen Brunson and no bench and 2 guys playing 40 minutes a game, yeah, you're probably going to win that series. A lot easier than you did last year, actually, if I'm being honest with you. Okay, last year, at least the Knicks had a little bit of depth. Granted, yes, a lot of guys got injured. They had Isaiah Hartenstein, they had Dante DiVincenzo, they had Brunson, they had OG Anunoby, right? Their team, they had Julius Randle was injured. They had a lot of guys injured. But they don't have a lot of the guys that they had last year. They don't have Hartenstein anymore, okay? They don't have Dante DiVincenzo anymore. They don't have Julius Randle. Yeah, Karl Anthony Towns has been playing well, but historically the dude's not a good, just not a good playoff performer, and he's not a good defender. Even though he plays for Tom Thibodeau, Karl Anthony Towns is not a good defender. He's just simply not. He's a stretch big that rebounds the shit out of the ball. He grabs rebounds and shoots threes, and yeah, he's good at it. He's got a little bit of a post game to go with it. But it's just the idea right now, at the current point in time, the ideal matchup for any team in the 4, 5, 6 spot, the best spot to be is the 6th seed. At the current point, I don't give a fuck if you get mad about it, okay? I'm not here to appease you. I'm not here to stroke your ego. I'm telling you by looking at the fucking standings, that's what I think. And even somebody else at work said the same fucking thing to me, okay? Like 2 days ago. They're like, the 6th seed looks like it's the place to be in the East. And I was like, couldn't agree more. But it's just the idea, like, we'll have to wait and see what happens. I have a strong feeling that they're going to sit the starters against the Mavericks tomorrow night. I wouldn't be surprised if they do. Give everybody another day's worth of rest. The league is probably going to investigate it. I'm just going to throw it out there. If they sit all of the starters again against the Mavericks, there will probably be an investigation. Especially if Siakam sits again for personal reasons. So I don't know, man. I don't know what to think about this, but last night was a great game. Obi Toppin had his best game as a Pacer. Dude was on fire. And we still got like 15 games left in the season, but we're getting down to the wire here. That's the point. We're getting down to the wire here. Last night's game against Minnesota was fun to watch. We were in Discord. We had a live chat going, or we were in a chat room. Me, Isaiah, and Blues. We were all sitting in there watching it. I think Isaiah streamed it or something like, I don't know. But like we were sitting in there watching the game and talking about it and everything. So it was a good time. Not gonna lie, it was fun. Makes the games more fun, I think. But tell me what you guys think about this down below in the comment section below. Like helps me out. Subscribe if you guys want to see more on the Fast Break Report. And I'm out of this motherfucker. Peace, guys. What a fucking game. I mean, such a Pacers win, guys. Such a Pacers win. You intend to fucking lose and you end up winning, and then you play bad teams, intend to win, and you end up losing. That's Pacers basketball. See ya.